This project is about reimagine a trip through Latin America in the 16th century and 17th century. For that, I used travel books that men wrote when they traveled the through America, and these some of the illustrations that come with those books. I try to capture the essence of those drawings. For this course, I wanted to do something more creative with botanical drawing because in on the books there were a lot of drawings of plants that was normal at that time. So I joined a course in the Barbican with my husband and trying to grasp new techniques to draw darker tones or lighter tones. I realized that for me, darker colors and bold is what is come natural to me. With the sketches, I try to be more creative with the use of color. I didn't plan it beforehand, just a light one, a medium one, and a lighter one. Here, I try to recreate some statues that I didn't use for the project, but I just wanted to use the least number of color possible. When I did this particular sketch, I realized that that was it. That was what I wanted. Um, Here I was trying to go from the line of drawing the plants to a more complicated drawing with color pencils. Lining with color pencil was very difficult for me to get fine shapes. This was supposed to be the final work. At the end, I decided not to. It was going to be only botanical, as you can see, and with the minimal number of color. I used 3 colors for this particular part. Each page have a different set of color. I try to change 1 color at a time or 2 colors at a time, so you could see the change of seasons. I also wanted to be very a little bit detailed, less um, with shadows and create some sense of depth, but without background. I wanted to be not as busy, so I think the work is really nice. I try to avoid very red like in this part because I don't think that was the quality I wanted. So I use more like creamy colors, more dirty colors, but I think in general this work is really nice. Different from the previous exercise, color in this one was a little bit more controlled. I choose 5 colors, normally sometimes 6, but I try to have one light color to highlight and dark color to do shadows, and the other 3 I vary just to see how they look like. This is another combination that I use. In this case, it was more complicated because the beige was not a proper highlight. It was more difficult to use. So I tend to follow this pattern more, where you have a yellowish and a blue and a very dark color to do shadows. As you can see at the background, this is different combination of color that I did on Adobe Color in order to create this palette beforehand. So everything was planned so the work looked like the color progress. This is the final illustration. I worked with a paper that was almost 2 meters long. This is just a reference. And I started working between squares of illustration from one um, palm tree or tree to another and different things through the trip. The idea is to have a long strip with different scenes that happened at that time, and it's supposed to be 2 years long journey. I hope you like it as much as I did.